I'm curious. I've been following a lot of Jupiter news. It feels like there's been just a flurry of acquisitions over the past, say, 1 year. Moonshot, Solana FM, Sonar Watch. I'm forgetting some.
Coin Hall, Drip House,
Drip
Ultimate Wallet
was the big one recently. Ultimate Wallet as well. And I think that a lot of people see that kind of thing and say, basically putting two and two together, Jupiter's hoping to be this like everything app for Solana, and with JupeNet, maybe crypto as well. But I don't get to talk to you guys as much because we're kind of on different sides of the world. So I'll just pose it simply, like, what is the Jupiter end game when we're seeing all of these acquisitions and such? Like, what's the down the line goal?
Yeah, where we're getting to is indeed the DeFi super app, right? Everything that you can do on Solana, we want you to do it through Jupiter. And I think the benefits to the users are pretty massive if you can do that. Jupiter is already known for its very simple UX. It's the reason that basically everyone uses it. We're already integrated effectively everywhere, right? So any improvements that happen to Jupiter kind of carry over to the rest of the ecosystem as well. And we think that by putting things in one place, the convenience that's offered to users, and in particular, the discovery that's offered to users, becomes much more powerful, right? The hardest thing about crypto right now, if you're new, is like, okay, first, how do you get money on chain? Then, okay, what am I actually doing here? And then, okay, maybe if I learn how to trade, what can I do next? And Jupiter really is thinking to solve all three of those. So we have a bunch of great programs and products for people who are new, things like onboard, we have an on-ramp built in, we have bridges built in, we have an excellent invite flow that's fully non-custodial and decentralized. Once you're in crypto, then you can start trading, of course, whether it's spot, recurring, limit, etc. We just offer Jupiter Pro now as well, because we want pro traders. And then as you get deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, already today on Jupiter, we have perps trading, which is the number one perps trading product on Solana. We just, with Sonar Watch acquisition, we built out Jupiter Portfolio. Gam and Olivier and the team are incredible over there. So you can manage all your DeFi positions and so on. So really, when we think about acquisitions, we say, okay, who are the exceptional founders that we want, right? It's very hard to hire founder energy, right? Oftentimes you end up acquiring it, and that's what we've done. So I think at Jupiter now, there's about 90-ish people, and if I'm not mistaken, something about 15 to 20 of them are either former founders or former CEOs. So it's a lot of founder energy in the company, right? That's one piece that we really want. And the second is, rather than trying to learn something when we have a gap in expertise, let's just go find the best people at it and make them a part of the team. So the Drip House acquisition is a great example here, right? Where one, Vibhu and his team are killers. We just know that that's tons of great energy and talent coming on. But second, we want to be the everything exchange. We want to be the DeFi super app, and NFTs are a critical part of that future. Now, whether that's just art and PFPs, or if that's real world assets or something else in the future, we don't know. But we know NFTs are going to matter. And rather than trying to learn ourselves, we said, Drip House responsible for more than 80% of all NFTs on Solana, millions of users, clearly cracked product builders. Let's just bring them in and have them join the team. So those acquisitions allow us to build out the super app vision much faster than we would if we tried to learn things ourselves.
You said there's 90 people at Jupiter?
Something like that, yeah.
That's fewer than I would have expected.
Pretty small, right?
Scale of the company.
Yeah, I mean, multi-billion-dollar company, 90 people. And by the way, up until, I think 12 months ago, it was about like 25 or 30 people.
No kidding.
Yeah, when the first Jupiter happened, I think it was about 30-ish people at that time.
Yeah.
Quite small.
The token helps, I guess, with being able to scale up and so forth. But
it does, but we've gone the opposite route of a lot of big projects, I think, where you kind of overhire, or every time there's a new problem, let's bring someone on for it. We try to stay kind of small and nimble, and no one sleeps at Jupiter. That's the honest truth of it.
Yeah. That's just interesting, because like if you had asked me to guess before this how many people, I'd say like a few hundred probably for something of Jupiter's size, even like erring on the smaller side. Mm-hmm. But that's an interesting note. I guess on the point of the acquisitions, the super app vision, I think people in like the Asia market look at like the super app idea more favorably than maybe in the US, where we don't really have super apps as much. Like you have your social media app that does one thing, but people kind of like to have the like iPhone interface with a bunch of different apps you use to do different things. So I know that's not entirely like in the crypto world, but do you worry, I guess, that doing a bunch of different things causes Jupiter to lose its edge in one thing, which right now I guess would be like trading?
I think there is a risk of that happening if we approach it in a different way. So if we were taking the same people and trying to teach them new things and kind of taking our eye off the ball, definitely possible. But a big reason for the acquisition strategy that we've had is to allow the experts who build perps like, Josh T and Anyhow and these guys who are, absolutely cracked people, they get to keep that focus on the things that they know best, and new people can kind of come in and expand it. As far as the super app thing not happening as much in America, or in the West, certainly has not been branded as such, but I think if you kind of look at a lot of the prominent apps, you'll see that many of them have something there. So Uber is in some senses like a logistics super app, right? They have courier, they have food, they have drivers, they have whatever else, now helicopters and something else. And then certainly at large scale, what you see in any kind of mature industry is that the leaders often tend to verticalize. This happens across healthcare, it goes from hospitals, now we have insurance kind of built into the hospital systems and so on. You see it in retail, obviously Amazon does a lot of different stuff. They have like a video streaming service along with like this e-commerce service and so on. And you see it in traditional finance, right? Banks have just kind of grown increasingly vertical and offering more and more things in a single place. So the brand hasn't come across out of Asia. Of course, WeChat, Grab, et cetera, are known as super apps. But I think the returns to convenience, the returns to simplicity, and the returns to brand loyalty are so high that anytime you have a mature industry and a market leader in that industry, they seek to kind of grow and create more value for their users by offering more services in a simple interface.